Hey guys, welcome to another mod showcase. Now, this is actually going to be my last mod showcase for a while. The reason for that is because I'm going to be taking the Plague World Challenge in just a few hours here. So I thought that I could just give you this mod showcase to give you a little basis of what I'm going to be going into. Alright, so what this mod does is it adds multicolored goos into your game, and they do crazy stuff. It's so super awesome. Let's get started, shall we? First, you're going to need a few specialized machines. Now, these machines are expensive as crap, so yeah, I would have to like tell you to mine a whole bunch or use the easy items mod. Um, for these items. Alright, so now, first we have the nanolith. Now, to make the nanolith, you're going to need 4 iron ingots, 2 gold ingots, and 2 diamonds. And you'll get 1 nanolith, and you're going to need the nanolith to make the homogenizer, and the homogenizer is to make substrate, which will turn into Grey Goo, which you can get other goos from, and yeah. Alright, to make the homogenizer, you're going to need 6 iron ingots, 1 chest, 1 nanolith, and 1 piston, and you'll get the homogenizer. And the homogenizer I have over here, and how it works is you put any block at all into this left section over here, and it'll go totally slow. Um, it's absolutely incredibly slow unless you have like a bunch of coprocessors around it, but I'll get to that later. So yeah, it'll slowly do its thing, and it'll produce substrate, and you need 4 substrate to make Grey Goo, and yeah, that's pretty cool. Alright, so now the next thing I want to show you is the nanolens. Now to make the nanolens, you're going to need 4 iron ingots, 2 gold ingots, 1 diamond, and 2 glass, and you'll get a nanolens, and you're going to need the nanolens or you'll get 4 nanolens, sorry. I don't know why I only have 1. But you're going to, need it to make a compiler, which I think it combines traits to make matrices. Yeah, it does. So yeah, to make this compiler, you're going to need 3 iron ingots, 2 substrate, 1 crafting table, and 1 nanolens, and you'll get a compiler. And yeah, it's useful for making the other more complicated goos. One thing to note about the compiler, if you use 2 traits that do not mix together, like orange and red, or no, orange and blue, you'll get a gray one instead. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Um, you can find out which ones go together by seeing what kinds of goos there are. So yeah. Alright, the next thing I want to show you is the assembler. Now what the assembler does is it takes your matrix or trait and it puts it onto a substrate block and turns it into that kind of goo. To make the assembler, you're going to need 1 nanolith, 1 nanolens, 4 iron ingots, and 1 substrate, and you'll get an assembler. And yeah, that's pretty much what you're going to need to make the other goos. Alright, so now the next thing I want to show you is the coprocessor. Now, the coprocessor, as I told you before, it speeds up your machines so that they don't go hella slow. And yeah, so if you're trying to prevent a world epidemic and you don't have much time left, and yeah, you can make coprocessors. Alright, so now to make the coprocessor, you're going to need 4 iron ingots, 4 substrate, and 1 nanolens, and you'll get 4 coprocessors. And one thing to note about the coprocessors and the homogenizer, if you put a bunch of them around it, it will increase the output per block of substrate. So like one block, if you have like 10 around it, one block will produce 10, and yeah, its maximum at a time for one block is 10. So yeah. Also, one thing I do have to note is if you leave it in there long enough so that it makes 7 groups of 10, it'll show up as 64, but when you pick it up, it'll be 70. And when you put the stack down, you'll have 6 left over. So yeah, that's pretty weird. Anyway, I believe that's all of the machines. So let's get on to the goos. I'll start out with the basic goos, and then I'll go to the more complicated goos. Alright, so first we got brown goo, white goo, blue goo, green goo, orange goo, red goo, purple goo, and I think that's all of the basic ones. Oh, except for yellow goo. Yellow goo. Alright, now let's just show you what they all do. Alright, so now first, lava, no, 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 no. Okay, let's show you what the blue one does. This one eats liquids, not just water, but also lava. And if you have, oh, see, I just activated it and it's starting to eat it. And yeah, go blue goo, eat all of the lava, eat it all. It doesn't appear to be eating it all. Okay, now that that's done, let's move on to the basic goo. Oh god, okay. You're going to need the Grey Goo for anything, and and to get the other traits, you're going to just place it, and it'll start spreading. And as you can see, it slightly shifts its color as it grows. So yeah, break those blocks, and you'll get the traits of that color. And oh god, be careful though, because it will grow into tumor, which I will get in a bit which I will get to in a bit if it is not maintained properly. So yeah, I'm going to show you what the red goo does now, and it just basically eats the other goos, all of the other goos, I think, and yeah, it stops them from spreading. So yeah, stops major catastrophes. Yes. Alright, so now let's move on to the green goo. Now the green goo doesn't do much actually. It's just an anchor for the orange goo. As you can see, it doesn't really spread or do anything. I have to keep placing blocks. But let's show you what the orange goo does with it. Alright, so now it will start growing adjacent to the green goo, and yeah, the green goo actually acts as a redirector for it, and the orange goo is basically a wall builder to contain the spread of the purple goo, and yeah, that's pretty much all it is used for. Alright, so now the purple goo is by far the most destructive of the basic goos, simply because it eats the entire world. And oh, what? Oh, seems to have fallen in some lava. I'm in the Firelands right now, so yeah, there's lava like right under this netherrack. So I guess I can't show you what the purple goo does quite yet. Yeah, let's move on to the white goo. Now the white goo is kind of special because it needs light to function, and it will just like make a dome, and it will actually block itself from getting light, which will stop it from growing. But the cool thing is you can use it with other goos, because the goos emanate light. Here, let me just show you that real quick.